Good morning, Anton. Be right with you. Getting everything situated. Hey, Danielle. Yep, new schedule. I'm doing tarot on the weekends. I know I feel so bad that I haven't. I'm doing tarot on the weekends. This is True Crime Tuesday. Hey, Nicole. Hey, Mr. Mingsta. How you doing? Be right with you guys. I'm getting set up everywhere else. Hold on one sec. Hi, Sid. Hey, Boomer. What's up? Hey, Lucinda. Hey, guys. Good morning. Hey, Tamara. Nope, Sid's over there with you, Boomer. Hey, Lucinda. How you doing? Hey, everybody that came in. If I missed you, you can talk, honey. They can hear you.
I don't want to talk.
Oh, Ron's over in D Live too. Hey, Ron. Good morning. Good morning, everybody. What's going on? How you doing? So, shall we get this? Hey, Jim. Hey, Little Red. Thank you so much for that lemon.
I thought it was going to keep going.
How is everybody? Let's go ahead and get started here. Good Tuesday morning to you. How is everyone? We are live on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, Mixer, and Blog Talk Radio. Welcome to True Crime Tuesdays, where we'll be discussing true crimes, missing 411 cases, and unsolved murders. On the first half of the show, we'll be discussing why the Ogletree murder is one of the creepiest unsolved cases in American history. Then we'll be talking about the Cleveland torso murders. After that, we'll be discussing the Keddie Cabin Murders. 14-year-old Sheila Sharp was returning from a sleepover when she discovered at some point during the night on April 12, 1981, someone had entered the cabin and ruthlessly murdered her mother, her 15-year-old brother, and her brother's 17-year-old friend. Then, last but not least, we'll hear from someone over on Reddit who believes they almost became a missing 411 case. And we'll be discussing these and more, so stay tuned. Of course, on the second half of the show, it's your turn to call in or click the link in chat and come up on panel and tell us your spooky stories. And don't forget, as I roll the credits, get over to D Live and hype up the chat for that opening. And one more thing, if you would like to share your stories or pictures for the show, please send them to shadowsofthemoons@yahoo.com, and we'll share them on the show.
Can you please let everybody know that your schedule has changed?
Yes, my schedule has changed. Hey, Eli, we are not doing Tarot Tuesdays. Tarot is going to be on the weekend. Readings will be on the weekends.
Good morning, Ron.
Oh, Lucinda, what lake? That's awesome. That's awesome. So I hope everybody is doing well. Thank you so much, Tamara, for the lemon. All right, let's go ahead and get started. Watch your ears, guys.
Tell me pretty lies, look me in the face. Tell me that you love me, even if it's fake.
What'd you do? Screw up again?
Thank you, Jesse, for the lemons. How are you? Welcome.
Oh boy.
Cool. Splashing pool water my way. All right, I like that. Thank you, Jesse, for the 5 lemons. Appreciate this so much.
Oh,
Tamara,
what did
for the
I say?
5 lemons. Well, honey?
Apparently I said something because Nicole says I heard that I eat.
So yeah, sorry guys, today is not Tarot Tuesday anymore. Well, Tuesdays aren't Tarot Tuesday anymore. We'll be doing True Crime Tuesdays. And as always, all the links are down in the description below. Let me go ahead and get that out there. I hope everybody's having an awesome day. Oh, yeah, Missy screwed up again. Yes, Missy always screws. So you guys know this. That's nothing new.
I didn't either, Tamara.
Oh, you guys are awesome.
Eli, you have a good day.
Have a good day, Eli. Is he leaving?
Yeah. He said he was only stopping in to say hi.
Oh, okay. Okay. No worries. No worries. Thanks for coming in. I appreciate it. Hey, sexy wife, Weasley, how you doing? So, shall we get started? How was your morning?
You don't want me to answer.
I know.
Let's just say I'm glad that we weren't live when I walked in the room.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Good to hear. Oh, look at everybody. I'm so glad you guys came in today. So the first story we're going to be sharing is all about the Ogletree murders. It's one of the creepiest unsolved cases in American history. So on Wednesday, January 2nd, 1935, around 1:20 p.m., a man calling himself Roland T Owens checked into the Hotel President in Kansas City. A few days later, his body was found badly beaten and tortured in his hotel room. The events surrounding his death has always caused a lot of speculation. Witnesses say that he was aged around about 20 to 35 years old and was nicely dressed. He had a scar on his scalp and a cauliflower ear. The bellboy who took Owens to his room, Randolph Props, reported that Owens only packed a brush, comb, and toothpaste. Throughout his stay...
Toothpaste or toothbrush?
No, it says toothpaste.
What do you do?
Well, he could use his finger.
I thought maybe use his comb.
No, that could be too. Throughout his stay, the hotel maid, Mary Soptic, said Owens allowed her to clean the room while he was in the room. Which that's always, as working in a hotel, that's always creepy. Not creepy, but it's just awkward, I guess. She recalls Owens keeping the shades tightly drawn and the lights off with the exception of one dim light. He also asked that she not lock the door on her way out because he was expecting company. Nothing weird, right? She told police that she believed that Owens was worried or afraid of something, like he seemed nervous. He always wanted to keep it kind of dark in the room, and he just seemed nervous all the time. At 4 p.m., Soptic returned with new towels and found Owens lying on the bed in complete darkness. She also found a note on the nightstand that read, "Don, I will be back in 15 minutes. Wait."
Have a good day, Lucinda.
Have a good day, Lucinda. Swim some for me. Get cooled off. The next day, Soptic, which is the maid, came back to clean the room at around 10:30 a.m. She noticed that the door had been locked from the outside, so assuming that Owens locked it while leaving, However, Owens was sitting on the bed with the lights off, which meant someone else had locked the door from the outside. While she was still in the room, Owens answered a phone call and said, "No, Don, I don't want to eat. I'm not hungry. I just had breakfast." When Soptic came back around 4 p.m. to deliver fresh towels, she heard two male voices from inside the room. When she knocked on the door, she heard a rough voice say, "Who is it?" That was my best rough voice. Then she explained.
Housekeeping. Reflap your pillow.
Then she explained she had fresh towels, and the mystery man responded with, "We don't need any." During the night, a hotel guest sitting on the 10th floor reported hearing loud voices. There was apparently a party going on that night in room 1055. The next morning, around 7 a.m., the hotel phone operator noticed that Owens' hotel phone had been off the hook for a while without being in use.
Boomer's got a good question.
I think because it's a key lock, it's not like our swipe keys anymore.
Well, back then, I don't think they had swipe keys.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, it was probably how it was not turned on the inside. You know what I mean? Like kind of like a deadbolt. I don't know. Apparently, they knew. She sent so after this hook being off the phone being off the hook for a while, she sent a bellboy to check his room. Despite the door having a do not disturb knock, let's try that again. Do not disturb sign, the bellboy knocked a few times and heard a low voice say, "Come in, turn on the lights." However, the door was locked and no one was opening it. So that's like our locks that we can lock in the inside and even we can't get in. After knocking repeatedly, the bellboy told Owen to put the phone back on the hook. Around 8:30 a.m., the phone was still off the hook. However, another bellboy, Harold Pike, let himself into the room with a pass key. Oh, they can get in. He only used the light from the hallway and noticed that Owens was naked in bed, seemingly drunk. He also noticed that the bedding was darkened around Owen, so he placed the phone back on the hook and he left. At approximately 10:30 to 10:45 a.m., the phone was once again off the hook. The hotel sent another bellboy to resolve the situation, but when he opened the door, he stumbled upon a truly horrific scene. Here was his statement to the police. "When I entered the room, this man was within 2 feet of the door on his knees and elbows. Holding his head in his hands, I noticed blood on his head. Then I turned on the light and I looked around and I saw blood on the walls, in the bed, and in the bathroom. This frightened me and I immediately left the room and went downstairs." Owen was discovered with extensive injuries. He had been tied up with a cord around his neck, wrist, and ankles. His skull was fractured. He had been stabbed in the chest several times and his lung was punctured. Remarkably, Owen was somehow still alive. One of the detectives that arrived on the scene asked Owen if anyone else had been in the room. His response was, "Nobody." He claimed that he fell and hit the bathtub
That must have been a short bet.
Right? Right? After that brief exchange, he lost consciousness and was taken to the hospital. According to the doctor, his injuries had occurred 6 to 7 hours prior to him being discovered. Owen died the night of January 5th in the hospital. Detective found no weapons or any of Owen's belongings in the room, and ruled out suicide. 4 fingerprints were found on the hotel telephone, potentially from a female. When Owen initially checked into the hotel, he mentioned he was from Los Angeles. But when Los Angeles authorities searched for a Roland T Owens, they couldn't find any records. His body was placed for viewing at Melody McGilly Funeral Home. As the story spread, more and more people reached out to Kansas City authorities to see if their missing loved ones could be Owen. But there was no leads. Hey, Andy. Welcome. When police tried to search for the mysterious man that was said to be Owen's room the night of his death, Don, they found no leads. Owen's upcoming burial was announced by the Kansas City Journal-Post on March 3rd to be in Potter's Field. However, the Melody McGilly Funeral Home received an anonymous caller who said that they would send money necessary for a proper funeral. Sure enough, on March 23rd, money bundled in a newspaper was delivered to the funeral home. Anonymous flowers were also arranged along with a card that read, "Love forever, Luis." About a year and a half later, in 1936, a woman named Ruby Ogletree found an article in the American Weekly about Owen's case. Upon looking in the magazine, Ruby correctly identified Owens as being her son, 17-year-old Artemis Ogletree. Ruby had...
Hey, I got a question.
You got a question?
Yeah. They said they asked him who was in the room with him, and he said nobody.
Right.
But the housekeeper and one of the bellboys heard another voice in that room.
Yeah.
And the guy on the 10th floor said he heard loud voices.
Right. Like there was a party going on.
Yeah. So why would he tell the detective that he was by himself?
I don't know. Good question, though. I don't know.
Okay.
Ruby had received 3 letters from her son in the spring of 1935. However, the letters were delivered after his death and were typed. The thing that's suspicious about this, apparently, Artemis didn't know how to type. After some time, it was revealed that Artemis stayed in another hotel in Kansas with another man. Some suspect that that man was this mysterious Don. He stayed at the St. Regis in Kansas City also. And in early 2000s, Dr. Horner, the author of an account of a murder case published by the Kansas City Public Library, received an out-of-state call about Artemis. The caller claimed to find a box of newspaper articles about the murder, and after that, the case would have no other revelations. So, the first theory is that the man referred to Don beat Artemis to death and acted alone, right? The second theory is that the unknown Don didn't act alone. This theory relates back to the observation by Charles Blotcher, the elevator operator, on the night of the murder. Blotcher saw a commercial woman. I don't know what commercial woman would be.
I don't know,
Just
maybe
a normal,
somebody dressed in a suit or something?
I don't know. Go to the 10th floor. She was about 135 pounds, 5'6" tall, dark hair, coat of black Hudson seal or imitation Hudson seal.
Now, that's the same floor that the guy called down to the front desk saying it sounded like a party was going on.
Right, yeah.
So, okay.
She was probably, Blotcher claimed the woman was looking for room 1026 to meet a man she couldn't find. Could it possibly be this woman was looking for Artemis and accidentally mistaken room 1026 to room Oh no, 1055 was having the party. His room was 1046. Because they said accidentally mistaken room 1026 to room 1046.
I agree with Boomer. There's just too many holes in the testimony.
Of witnesses?
Yeah.
I mean, let me tell you, working in a hotel industry, as I work on the front desk, I pay attention to a lot. I rely a lot on cameras too. But I try to pay attention to everybody that walks into the hotel. You know what I mean? Either I'm just not that good that I can't remember details. Don't get me wrong. In a certain situation, it might just, the details might come to me. But I don't pay that much. Back then, though, I guess they really did. They had the bellboys. We don't have bellboys. We don't have elevator operators. We don't have a freaking elevator.
No, they had me.
Yeah. You're the bellboy. He does the luggage when he's not cooking meals. So, I don't know.
Well, here's another thing I don't get. Now, this happened back in 1935, you said?
Correct.
Okay. According to the detective, they seen multiple sets of fingerprints on the phone.
There was four fingerprints. I think there's just 4. Hold on, let me scroll up and see.
But he said it looked
4 fingerprints.
It looked like from different people.
No, 4 fingerprints were found in the hotel telephone, potentially from a female.
See, okay, now from a female, but it was a male bellhop that hung the phone up.
Right.
So wouldn't there be more than just one set of fingerprints on that phone if they went back up and the phone's back off the hook?
I don't know. So this woman seen, anyway, was seen with a man, and some speculate that man could have been Miss Dawn. If you recall, there were... Oh, here we go. If you recall, there were fingerprints on the telephone found in Artemis' room, and a woman staying in 1048 heard loud female and male voices yelling.
But now the guy in 1056.
1055?
Is the one that said there was a party going on down, or he just heard loud voices?
Yeah, it sounded like a party. The third theory is that Ogletree was killed for being unfaithful. According to the article published in the Newcastle Sun, Mystery Murder Room 1046 states that a woman called a local paper to say, "You have a story in your paper that is wrong. Roland Owen will not be buried in a pauper's grave. Arrangements have been made for his funeral." But when asked to identify herself and what happened to Ogletree, she replied with, "Never mind, I know what I'm talking about. He got into a jam." And at the same time, a man called the funeral parlor Ogletree was held in and said, "Don't bury Owen in a pauper's grave. I want you to bury him in a Memorial Park cemetery. Then he will be near my sister. I'll send funds to cover the funeral expenses." And that's when the money showed up. The man also explained that Owen had jilted a girl he was engaged to. And in room 1046, Owen, a man, and the jilted girl had a little meeting. Before hanging up, he said, "Cheaters usually get what they got coming." Shortly after, the Rock Floral Company received a call requesting 13 American Beauty roses sent to Roland Owens' funeral. "I'm doing this for my sister." Still leaving a dead end regarding what happened to Artemis that fateful night. Other than that, the mysterious death of Artemis Ogletree has been left to collect dust on the shelves of investigators. To this day, no possible leads on what truly happened in room 1046. Nobody knows what truly happened, and it's unsolved.
I don't know. I have to agree with what Boomer said earlier about shoddy police work. You had 3 different witnesses, 3 different stories, and he couldn't piece anything together.
Right. Well, nobody knew who this Don was and who this woman was. They left before, you know what I mean? Supposedly before the murders.
Was that room number 1044?
1046.
That is just, yeah.
What do you guys think? Do you guys think?
I want to know how he stayed alive that long.
Yeah. I mean, apparently he was beaten crazy, and he was hogtied.
And he had a punctured lung.
Yeah. Hold on 1 second, Boomer. Give me 1 second and I'll look back at that. The last time, like before he was discovered, right? I assume.
I think that's what he is referring to. Yeah, Boomer, I mean, that makes a lot of sense if he was hogtied.
What's that? I missed that.
Boomer said he was tortured.
Oh, definitely. All right, let's see here.
And there's definitely more to this story, Boomer, than meets the eye. You're right. Somebody paid for somebody to keep their mouth shut.
Well, approximately 10:30 to 10:45 a.m., the phone was once again off the hook. He was discovered at...
It was just shortly after that.
Yeah.
So it had to have been around 11 o'clock.
Yeah.
But no phone call was ever made to the front desk. He just took it. The phone was just off the cradle.
Yeah. And apparently it must notify them at the front. I don't know how the old switchboard...
Probably a light blinks.
Yeah. Before that, it was around 8:30 a.m. when the phone was off the hook and the bellboy went in to put it.
Well, Boomer, the story really didn't say the police were involved.
Hey, Cassie.
From what I picked up on, it was one detective.
You think they were looking for info? And if it was this, obviously this lady said it was her son. He was 17 years old. What the hell could a 17,
How do you get a hotel room at the age of 17? Well, back then you probably could.
Yeah, I don't know what the rules were back then. Now you can't.
Now, do you think this woman that showed up could have been an escort and he got caught?
That could be, yeah. That's a good theory. That's a good theory.
That's kind of what I was just thinking, Boomer.
They were covering up a sex ring?
Yeah.
That could be. Him being 17. That's just crazy. Yeah, Tamara. Nice chunk of change was paid to keep quiet, definitely.
Yeah, somebody got paid off quite well.
Yeah.
And I think it was the detective that got really paid off, especially when he had 3 different testimonies from 3 different witnesses.
Right.
So how, like I said, how could you not piece anything together?
Right, yeah, exactly. That's crazy. If I missed anybody coming in, hello, I'm so sorry.
Yeah, well, it kind of seems that way, Tamara.
But why would they, if he was in a sex ring, or if he was caught cheating or whatnot, why would somebody want to pay for his funeral?
All a cover up.
All a cover up?
Of course.
Why
would this guy want to pay to have him buried in a completely different cemetery cemetery
his sister.
next to his sister.
Yeah.
And the sister, she apparently has already been dead.
Right.
So she wasn't involved in any of this.
Yeah.
So why is he having him buried next to his sister?
That's so weird.
Welcome back, Eli.
Maybe they owed him?
Well, if they owed him, well, I don't know. At the age of 17, what could they really have owed him?
I don't know. It's crazy, right? It's crazy.
But again, the detective says they only found one set of fingerprints on the phone.
Yeah, the woman.
When we know for a fact there was at least two people that had touched that phone.
Other than Owens himself.
Yes. So how was there only one set of fingerprints? I'm sure back then they didn't think about wearing gloves and wiping shit off.
Right.
Well, somebody's guilty, but nobody knows who.
Maybe this Don was a Don.
Maybe. Could it have been a Dawn, as in D-A-W?
Eli, are you calling me Misty?
Yes.
Okay. Why is he calling me? Is this a joke I missed?
I don't know.
Oh.
No, Boomer. Yeah, there was 4 prints, but it was all from the same hand.
Yeah, it was all from the same.
But at least 3 people had touched that phone. How you only get one set of footprints or fingerprints?
Hey, Eli. Well, no, I'm just saying that because you're close to saying my name. I mean, I've been called Misty all my life, but it's Missy. M-I-S-S-I. That's okay. You're allowed to lurk. I like lurkers.
And it's weird now because you're talking, this happened over 70, 80, 90 years ago.
And it
was never solved.
Nope. Nope.
Now, here's a good question. Is that hotel still standing?
I don't know. Shall we check? That's what Boomer, that's what Eddie was saying, yeah, or Chaos was saying. That why was her fingerprints the only one?
When in the story at approximately 10:30, 10:45 that morning, a male bellhop went to the room and put the phone back on the cradle. So there should have been another set of fingerprints. Yeah, hi, Oracles.
They still have it, but it's now a Hilton. It's Hilton President.
It'd be interesting, to reopen that case. But after 90 years, you ain't going to come up with nothing. And besides that, anybody who was involved is dead anyway.
Yeah, they're dead anyway. But definitely a weird story.
That's an interesting one, though.
Yeah. So now, next. Oh, Cassie's saying hi, Eddie.
I said hi, Oracles.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. My bad. We're going to be talking about, you think the female was pregnant? I mean,
that could be a good be.
Back then, I mean, that wasn't talked about. You know what I mean? So that very well could be. Very well could be. Next, we're going to be talking about the Cleveland torso murders. Dun, dun, dun. So here we go. You ready?
This is the guy that just walked around cutting everybody's belly out.
See, Eddie don't hear the stories until you guys hear the stories, but he hears the titles, I guess, of these stories.
There should be 4 sets of prints: victim, female, bellboy, and suspect.
Exactly, Boomer.
That's what I was saying. Tamara, ooh.
In Cleveland, Apparently I'm in a 1930s kind of mood or something. In Cleveland,
She's just trying to tell you how old we actually are.
between 1934 and 1938, 13 people were murdered by a serial killer. 6 of the victims were women, 7 were men.
And the reason why they classed him as a serial killer, he always had a mouthful of cornflakes or something when he committed the murder. So he was.
Of the 13 people killed, only three were identified.
Now wait a minute. How did 10 go unidentified?
I don't know. Almost all of them were vagrants or sex workers. All of the victims were decapitated, and in some cases, their heads weren't found.
I don't think it was the highway murders.
No, this was the torso murders, also known as the Cleveland torso murders, also known as the oh crap, what's it? The butcher.
Yeah, you said it last night.
Yeah.
You gave me the title and I can't remember what it was.
Yeah, I can't remember exactly. The butcher, the mad butcher or something like that. Okay. So the killer often dismembered the body through the torso. In no instance was the body found fully intact. This is why the serial killer was labeled the Cleveland Torso Killer. On September 5th, 1934, the first victim was found. She was an unidentified woman in her 30s.
Boomer's asking, I'm going to guess they were Boomer. That's how only 3 were actually identified out of 13.
Yeah, they haven't found all the heads. She was an unidentified woman in her 30s. All that was found was parts of her torso, thighs, and other body parts. Her skin was leathery and red from a chemical preservative.
No, that's just nasty.
On September 23rd, 1935, a 28-year-old man named Edward Ogletree was found. He was drained of blood, clothes was missing, emasculated, and had rope burns on the wrists.
Oh, so there was a mix of females and male victims.
There was 6 females, 7 males.
Okay.
The same day, the third victim was found. He was an unidentified 40-year-old male, decapitated and emasculated. Some chemical preservative from the first he had the same chemical preservative from the first killing.
I don't think it's carbon poisoning, Boomer. I think he had a chemical to kind of preserve the skin so it wouldn't deteriorate so fast.
So I wonder, I mean, because as I read the story, you'll find out that a lot of them were dropped. The bodies were dropped. They weren't murdered there. So I think he might have did it like in his house and did that to keep the smell. And
it could be.
Would that keep the smell?
Yeah, I mean, if he's gotten rid of the...
I don't know.
You think about it, if he's gotten rid of the insides or he put some kind of chemical to block odor, it would last longer before people would be able to start smelling it.
Right. The identified man had been decapitated. Oh, I already read that.
Yeah, it's almost what it sounds like, Boomer. They were Johns and prostitutes.
Yes. Yeah.
Maybe
so
this guy got a bad rap from a prostitute.
Or he was Jack the Ripper reincarnated.
Or he was having fun with a stripper and one of these guys was her husband, and at one point they beat him.
I don't know.
So
on January 26, 1936, Florence Polio was found. She was a sex worker, a barmaid, a waitress, and lived in the Roaring Third.
Take care, Eli.
Have a good day, Eli. She was found in newspaper inside bushel baskets near a manufacturing building. On June 5th, 1936, the head of an unidentified male was found. The victim's head was wrapped in trousers. The rest of the body was found the next day in front of a police building.
Now that takes balls.
The sixth victim was an unidentified 40-year-old man. He had been dead for 2 months. He was found July 26, 1936.
Now, you just said how many people have been identified now?
Only 3 have been identified.
But it sounded like you just said more than 3.
No, 6 victim, unidentified 40-year-old
Oh,
man.
I thought you said identified.
No, unidentified. There was blood on the ground suggesting the victim had killed this one right on the site and not dumped there like the other bodies had been found.
But see, that's what's people have to understand where we're at in Alaska. See, up here, people don't mess around. You can disappear very quickly and never be found. There is way too many bears and stuff up in this area that you don't want to go around pissing people off in this town.
Or in Alaska.
Yeah.
On September 10th, 1936, the 7th victim, an unidentified man, was found killed by decapitation.
Wow. Boomer must have did some research on that real quick. It says the murderer was a 30-year-old male who was the product of a hooker who had abused him his whole life. He died in prison on unrelated charges.
Huh. I don't know that. Oh my God. Well, dang, the Fruit Loop killer was getting sloppy.
At first I thought it said soggy.
That would have been awesome too. The coroner noticed that the decapitation had been done in one stroke, indicating that the killer knew human anatomy. Not anatomy. Many local papers were reported the murder spree on a daily basis, but there was no suspects or clues. Peter Merlo and Martin Zalewski were detectives. Interviewed over 1,500 people on their own. On February 23rd, 1937, parts of an unidentified woman were found. June 5th, 1937, another victim named Rose Wallace was found. Her remains were only a skull and bag of bones. Ew.
Now, you said they found heads, a couple of heads of males in that. They wouldn't able to identify who the hell it was?
Well, they didn't have the sources we did, but no, I don't know him, Joe.
What
on to the next case. I don't know.
You go door to door knocking. Do you know this person? As you're holding a head in your hands.
You see what I live with?
Boomer says break out the spirit box.
Yeah, right? What is your name? Hold the head there. What is...
Well, thank you for the ice cream cone.
Thank you.
Now, wouldn't that be some stuff if all of a sudden you brought out the spirit box and this voice came through and said, I am the torso killer?
Thank you, Unicycle Man.
Boomer wants to know, was the last case in the spring of 38?
I don't know. It could be. We'll see.
She's trying to play all this Sherlock shit.
So, yeah, they this last victim, her remains were only a skull and a bag of bones. That's lovely.
That means he had her for a while.
Right?
I mean...
July 6th, 1937, the 10th victim, an unidentified male in his 30s, was found in a river. His heart had been ripped out and his abdominal area was gutted. In April and May of 1938, parts of the 11th victim were found in a river. First time that a victim had drugs in their system.
Now, was it the drugs in their system? Is it drugs that they took or drugs that were forced into them?
Well, if you let me finish the freaking story, you'd know, now wouldn't you?
Well, then would you freaking read faster?
Authorities wonder whether the drugs were recreational or used to keep her from moving.
Okay.
They don't know.
I was going to say that still didn't answer my question.
On August 16th, 1938, nope, Boomer, this isn't, the last victim wasn't in spring of, he said 1938, right?
Yeah. And you just said 1938.
August 16th.
Okay, it's the end of spring, the beginning of fall. It's like right there. Jeez, you picky.
The 12th and 13th victims were found. Their bodies were unidentified. 2 days later, on August 18th, detectives and officers raided a homeless area in search of clues. The killings did stop after this raid, though investigators were no closer to identifying the killer.
You know what, Ron? That is not very nice.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does. I don't think I said that name. I don't know. Did I say that name?
No. Boomer's actually getting information fed to him from another channel at the time. And I think he's telling us Helen was either one of the victims or the mother of a victim.
Okay. There were multiple people suspected of being the Cleveland torso killer, starting with Frank Dolezal. Dolezal lived with one victim and personally knew two of the others. He admitted to murdering the fourth victim, Florence Polio, but later he recanted his confession, claiming to have been beaten into confession. He suffered broken ribs in custody, and the evidence suggests that he was forced into claiming any responsibility.
Boomer just said he was arrested in September 1938 and died in prison.
Okay.
Okay.
The other suspect is Francis E. Sweeney, a doctor who would have had the skill and knowledge to perform the killings. Shortly after the final murder, Sweeney checked himself into a mental institution, after which the killing stopped. In 1956, Sweeney was diagnosed with schizophrenia, and he remains the most popular suspect. There are a lot of details regarding the murders, their victims, the suspects, and the investigators, and it's all still going on today, it says. Despite what's known about the killings, the identity of the Cleveland torso killer remains unsolved.
Well, they won't be solved. If, with Boomer saying his information that he's getting from this other person is true,
right?
They'll never be able to prove that he was the torso killer,
right?
Because he died in their custody. I don't know, Nicole. You might have had too much. No, Boomer, I mean, he was pretty much right on with his information that he was getting with what you were reading.
Right. Oh, yeah, definitely. Here, Ron.
Why are you giving, what's that for?
Ron asked, where's the coffee?
Oh, I see Nicole saying coffee. Oh, there now Ron's saying, where's the coffee?
But yeah, Boomer, I don't know. I mean, it could be the same one, and it might not be. I'm not sure.
I mean, if it's not the same one, then it is pretty damn close to being a copycat.
Right.
Nicole's mean.
They didn't. Hold on one second.
Boomer saying Helen is the key to the story. But I didn't hear you say any Helen.
That's what I was just looking for.
I think Helen was the first. Yeah, that's what you're saying, Boomer. You said that she was either the very first victim or the mother of the very first victim.
The first victim was unidentified, they said. So maybe they identified her now. Maybe, I mean, going back, maybe, now they're testing. I mean, they have more sources nowadays, obviously.
Yeah, I mean, you can do DNA, you know, and all that stuff.
Yeah. But she was an unidentified woman in her 30s. That's all that was found was the parts of her torso, thighs, and other body parts.
Well, she was only 30. Then it sounds like she was the first victim, not the mother of the first victim.
Right, yeah. And then a 28-year-old man. And then a 40-year-old male. And then Florence Polio. And then an unidentified male. His head was found.
So that's what I don't get. You found his head, but...
An older 40-year-old man. They said unidentified male, but they don't say.
So you can stand on the corner with this guy's head ringing a bell.
And then Rose Wallace was the other one.
And start hollering, $1,000 reward to anybody who can identify this head. They have not found the mother, right? It
No.
Doesn't say.
It does. Hey, Freaky Geek.
What's up, Freaky?
Yeah, they did. There's no mention of a Helen or a mother of anybody. Wrong one.
Wrong one?
I hit the wrong button. All right. The next story is, it's been 39 years now since the Keddie Cabin Murders. And they're still unsolved.
Doing good, Freaky.
Good. Thank you so much. How you doing, Freaky? On April 12th, 1981, a group of 7 people went to sleep in cabin number 28 on Keddie Resort Lodge in California.
What year was this?
1981.
Oh, okay.
What occurred next shocked the country. No, Boomer. No. No, it was the one guy that was that they think that was beaten into, because he had all the bruises and broken ribs and that, into confession. And the other guy was in the mental hospital. He was a doctor that they diagnosed him with schizophrenia.
Okay, so there is a cabin in California.
Yep, this happened in California, April 12, 1981. 4 people were killed, 3 of which were found in cabin 28. Their bodies found by Sheila Sharp, who, unlike the rest of her family, had slept at a friend's house next door. Sheila's 12-year-old sister Tina was missing from the scene, but her remains were found at a different time.
So I wonder if she was dragged off after the rest.
That's what I would assume.
And then sexually assaulted and then killed.
Right. Strangely, Sheila's 2 younger brothers, Greg and Rick, and their friend Justin, were found in the cabin asleep and safe.
In the cabin next door?
No, in the cabin itself.
In cabin 28?
Yes. They were young. Because she was 14. And it says her 2 younger brothers, Greg and Rick, and their friend Justin, who I'm assuming was probably around the same age as them, were found in the cabin asleep and safe.
So they found 3 dead bodies in the cabin.
Yes.
3 bodies alive.
Right.
How did these murders take place and these kids never wake up?
I don't know. Sue Sharp, Johnny Sharp, and Johnny's friend Dana were bound together by some electrical wiring. A bent steak knife was found on the floor, and a bloody butcher knife and claw hammer were found on a small wooden table near the entryway in the kitchen. Blood splatters were found on the floor and ceiling, suggesting the kind of force used. Sue had left a broken and abusive marriage and was described as a quiet woman who loved her kids. In 1980, Sue moved her kids to the Keddie area, where they lived in poverty. Tina, the sister whose body was not found in the cabin, her skull had been found due to an anonymous tip called to the police on the 3rd anniversary of the murders.
Yeah. Okay.
Her skull had been found 50 miles away in a different county. To make things even more suspicious, the anonymous called identified the skull as Tina. So this person called up and said, "Hey, Tina's head is here." Hey, Andy.
Don't you think it's kind of weird, though, this anonymous caller knows exactly where the skull is?
And what her name was.
So, to me, it just sounds like it was the killer.
Right. And there were only 2 suspects examined by the police. Marty Smart and his roommate, Bo Betty, who lived 2 cabins down from the Sharps. The possible motives are Marty was married to Marilyn Smart, the mother of Justin Smart, who was one of the kids that were found alive in the cabin. Okay. Marty was reportedly an abusive husband, and there are reports that Sue Sharp, the mother, had been counseling Marilyn Smart on her marriage.
You know, I would agree with you, Boomer, but in the near the beginning of the story, it says that the 3 younger boys were found tied together.
No, they weren't. The bodies that were...
Oh, the dead bodies were.
Were tied, yeah, were bound together.
Oh, well, no.
I don't know. If they were younger than 12, and the ones that they killed was the mother, the 15-year-old brother, and the 17-year-old friend, I don't know. And they were bound together. So I'm not thinking kids under 12.
Well, you never know. I mean, it's 1981, California.
So when he found out about Sue's interference with his marriage, Marty reportedly went ballistic about it. He reportedly left for Reno, Nevada after the murders. At the time, law enforcement felt that the murders were committed by more than one person. Hence, them throwing Marty's roommate, Bo, who was an ex-con, into the case as an accomplice.
Yeah, freaky.
Despite that there has been much more to the case, the investigation strangely stops there. There was evidence that was unnoticed and people of interest who may not have been vetted properly. The father of Dana Wingate, the friend of the Sharps who was also killed, said in 2001 the police had stumbled over each other and followed up the case. Many other suspects the police on the case may be involved with a cover-up. The sheriff at the time of the murders, Doug Thomas, is accused of a cover-up on many online theories. The theories allege that he was close friends to Marty Smart at the time. So that makes sense why he would cover it up. At one point, Thomas did say he gave one session of advice to a couple, but it was before the murders. However, Marilyn Smart did not recall the meeting and also said that the two were not friends to her knowledge. Some also consider Marilyn a conspirator as well. Thomas recently addressed these accusations. He said that there was no shortage of suspects, but suddenly now everybody 35 years later or so have it all figured out what happened and that all of the investigating officers were corrupt. It's laughable. That's what it is. Martin Smart was not a friend of mine. At one point, he and his wife were having marital problems, and they came to my office when I was a sheriff and wanted me to counsel them. In 2013, the case was reopened by the current sheriff, Greg Hagward, and investigator Mike Gamberg. Both had personal connections to the victim of the case. Or to the victims of the case.
I was going to say which victim.
Yeah. Hayward commented on the theory of it being a cover-up. It has been brought to light that some amazing timelines, histories, and what some may call coincidences, but others may look at it more accusingly. I don't put anything outside the realm of possibility. New developments were found that when the case was reopened, Gamberg organized some boxes of case reports and uncovered evidence from the case that had been shoved aside. He found a letter written by Marty Smart to his wife, reportedly written soon after the murders. It said, "I paid the price for your love, and now that I bought it with four people's lives, you tell me that we are through? Great. What else do you want?"
It almost sounds like he hired a killer.
But told him to stay away from their kid.
Yep.
Marilyn claimed to never receive the letter. However, she did recognize her ex-husband's handwriting. The second development was something else found in the same box as the case files. The taped anonymous phone call that tipped off the location of Tina Sharp's remains. Even though the tape was never voice analyzed, the audio of that phone call is now being compared with the audio of the suspects to find a match. And Sheriff Hagwood had said this about the tape. Why that sat in a sealed evidence envelope, never opened, I don't have the answer to that, but we have it now. Or why that sat in a sealed evidence never opened. The third development came from Gamberg speaking to Marty's former therapist in Reno, Nevada. Apparently, Marty had confessed to the murders in a session. The therapist also reportedly told Gamberg that he was surprised the investigators at the time of the murder hadn't used the confession against Marty. Also, a man recently discovered a steel blue claw hammer using a metal detector that matched the description of one that Marty had told the investigators he had lost. As of November 2016, it was being tested for DNA and blood residue as a possible addition to the murder weapons. Sheriff Hagler gave an update on the status of the case. There are people locally who know more than they've said, and I believe we've identified some of them. We don't know who they are, and we know where they are. Or we know who they are, and we know where they are. And I have every confidence that they either participated after the fact or they have firsthand information. He also said there were at least 6 people of interest. Sheriff Hagwood said had to say this in regards to Marty Smart and Bo Baudoy being killers. It's a theory that we're working to the degree possible to conclude or dismiss. There's a disappropriate amount of evidence and information that tends to point in that direction. He also said there's not an expiration date on homicides to the extent that we have surviving siblings and family members. It's our fundamental obligation to help them understand who did this and why. Sheila Sharp, the surviving member of the Sharp family, had this to say of Haggard. She said, "Finally, I have somebody who cares. In the last 3 years, he's done more than the Plumas County Sheriff's Office has done in the previous 32 years. She personally believes the murders of her family were carried out by Marty Smart and Bo Baudoy. But as of now, no charges have been filed, but Hagwood and Gamberg continue to dig deeper on what happened that tragic night." So what do you guys think?
I think these people in this room are nuts.
Well, we already know that.
No, I'm reading this conversation. That's what I'm laughing about. I think maybe one person's been paying attention to what you were saying. And that would be Boomer. Boomer said that one of the boys was 11. The brother was 12. And the other kid was 12. Did you say the ages?
Oh, no, I didn't. Thank you, Ron, for the ice cream.
Appreciate that, Ron. You didn't give the ages in the beginning of that, did you?
Not of the younger brothers. No, they didn't say.
Well, Boomer wants to come up.
Yeah, of course, Boomer. Hold on. For a moment there, I forgot how to invite you up. Yeah, just a second.
Boy, if she asked me to do it, you'd be waiting a long time.
Yeah.
They was drugged somehow for someone to be killed and the others not wake up. That makes sense, Freaky. How are you going to kill
There you go,
people
Boomer.
and nobody else is going to hear it?
No, I put it in chat. I'm not worried about it.
What are you talking about?
The invite link.
I don't see anybody saying anything about you should be worried
Boomer
about
said
it.
Twitter or Messenger. I said I put it in chat.
Oh.
Read the stream, honey.
It's going too quick.
All right, there he is. Hold on one sec.
Hey, thanks for letting.
How you doing, Boomer?
I'm good. How you doing?
I can't complain.
Yeah,
Well,
nobody listens, right?
But exactly. So why complain?
All right. Through the last couple of minutes of that story, I was getting a vision the whole time that kept replaying over and over again in my head.
Uh-huh.
The vision starts out, I see like cabins, the outside of the cabins, they're like forest green wooden shingled cabins is what I see. And then we're inside the cabin where the girls are. I see a small, very well could be the size of a 11 to 12-year-old male, but it's a small child-sized body, I would assume, because all right, what I see is like somebody wielding a hammer, and it doesn't look like an adult-sized hand. And what I was seeing is the first two were bludgeoned in the bed, and the third one was dragged out the door, still alive. And that's where it ended, and it keeps replaying like that. Nothing after that.
Right.
So that was the little girl.
I do have pictures.
All right, in the story, it was a cabin. There was 3 girls in one cabin, 3 boys in the other, right?
No, it was 7 people in the cabin.
All right, 7 people were in the cabin.
Right.
But only 4 were murdered.
4 of them were murdered, and only 3 were found in the cabin. The other one was found somewhere else, right?
Right,
correct,
yeah.
The ones that were murdered, were they all young?
No, the mother was murdered.
Okay, the mother.
The mother, the 15-year-old brother, and his 17-year-old friend.
And his 17-year-old friend.
Yes.
What about
the one that I believe she was 15, the sister that was found.
All right, the dog. Yeah, the girl, the Tina one, right?
Tina, the one that was found years later, the skull.
The one that was found away from the cabin.
Yeah, she was 12.
Right. Who were the other inside that other cabin?
The 2 little boys that she said she had younger brothers, they had a friend over.
There was 2 younger brothers.
Yep, and their friend were the ones
and
that were found
one of
alive.
their friends, right?
Yes.
And they were in a separate cabin, right?
No,
No,
they were in
a
that
separate
cabin.
room.
Oh, they were in a separate room in the same cabin.
Right.
Correct.
The sister, the oldest sister, the surviving sister, she was the one that came home in the morning and discovered everybody.
Oh, you dropped out.
Oh,
Your
I'm
audio
sorry.
dropped.
I'm sorry. Can you hear me now? Okay.
Well, in the vision I was getting, there. Oh, never mind. That's me. Somebody's trying to call me.
Oh.
What? I don't know who the hell it is.
I hear him just fine.
Why didn't that pop up? Sorry, I was getting a phone call. I thought your audio dropped or something, but
no problem.
No, you're all good.
Somebody's trying to call me from a unrecognized number.
Oh,
But that's what I brought up earlier, Boomer, is how did these
Hang on.
3 people get killed in the cabin?
Oh, I guess they gave up. Oh.
A 4th one is drugged from the cabin, and 3 boys in the next room over never heard a thing.
My audio's still screwed up, though.
That's weird.
Missed call. That wasn't the number that called me. I think somebody's screwing with me.
Oh, that's not good.
And now my volume's all screwed up.
I hear you just fine.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah, I can't hear you guys hardly at all. Hang on, let me bounce out and come back in.
Okay.
Yeah, that's why I hate doing these on the phone, because whenever I get a call, it screws everything up. All right, I'll come back in a second.
Okay.
Tamara, I don't think it was paranormal.
But yeah, while he's coming back up, I do have pictures of the
crime scene.
Yeah. Let me go ahead and share them.
Boomer's back.
There he is. Welcome back.
Yeah.
Oh,
government might be pushing it.
Yeah. That's why I hate doing this on my phone, because now is that images of the place where it happened?
Yep, and I can see where you can get, I mean, I don't see the green, but I see a green tint. Like it's mossy, or you know what I mean?
The green around it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it looks like a cream color cabin, but you're right. It looks like there's a moss.
It kind of does a little bit.
Yeah.
I see the one on top. What's the one in about? Oh, there we go.
That's a pretty nice cabin.
But apparently what I'm taking from the story too is these people lived here. It wasn't like a cabin.
So it wasn't like a seasonal
right.
vacation.
It wasn't like a camp.
Right.
Type
Yeah.
Cabin situation.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
They
actually lived in the cabin in the woods.
Right. Yeah. Great Willie. Yeah. No.
American saying, keep telling you, Michael Myers.
But these are the ones who died. Do they look familiar to you, Boomer?
I can barely see it because I'm on my phone.
Oh, that's right. And I hate the new.
Let me, oh shit, my friggin' mouse ain't working again. I'll try to get on my computer after I square away my mouse.
Oh, no, freaky geeky. It's actually a cabin house. It was pretty small for 7 people to be shoved inside there.
Well, remember, 2 of the people were friends.
I know, but I didn't mean all living together.
Yeah.
But 7 people at one time in that little cabin seemed like it'd be overwhelming. And that's why I'm saying, if it's that small, how did the boys not wake up in the next room? How did this?
It all happened. They were sleeping, and it was a silent weapon. The hammer was the weapon, so they wouldn't have heard.
He would have had to have cracked each victim on the first blow to kill them.
That's why they were saying there was 2 involved, him and his roommate.
They wouldn't scream out.
Yeah.
Son of a bitch.
I am not.
All right, be right back.
Okay, no problem. Right, Tamara?
Mike Myers came to real life. Maybe it's Freddy? I don't know.
Oh, have you, Freaky Geek? How is it? Is it a good show? They doing it justice?
Which? Oh, the new Twilight?
Yeah.
I'm really mad because they canceled the Blue Book project.
All right, I just had a vision while I was
Maybe
upstairs.
Jason, yeah.
Is there any mention of any of the suspects or any of the victims having a scar about 2.5 to 3 inches long on the back of their hand?
A scar. It was mentioned of a scar. Hold on one second.
Was there a scar in the back of somebody's right hand, I think?
She's looking it up right now.
I don't know if it was that story that I remember it from, but there was a scar somewhere.
Well, most likely, I think it was the suspect, because it looks like the hand, because it's not showing, it's only showing the back of a hand, but it looks like they're holding something, like they could be holding the handle of the hammer or whatever, or the handle of the knife. Their hand is almost in a fist, and there's a scar that goes catty corner from the pinky knuckle almost to the third thumb knuckle on the back of the right hand. About 2.5, 3 inches long. So
no, I'm not seeing anything with a.
That's what I saw. But,
right.
I finally figured out who.
I wonder if you're seeing that because of the fact that maybe he got a scar from doing the murders.
No, because he sees what he's saying.
This is a healed scar.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not a wound. It's a scar that had been healed.
Gotcha. What were you saying?
It looks like it wasn't professionally like done. Like it doesn't look like there was any sutures done by a medical professional or anything. It looks like it's a nasty scar that maybe they just kind of taped up till it healed or whatever, because it doesn't look like it was. It's kind of jagged.
Right.
Like I'd say the hand was. It kind of looks like if somebody was like whipped with like a whip or the back of a blade or a switch or something, like their hand was slapped and it caused a laceration rather than just a welt.
Right.
Like it's a laceration. It looks like maybe somebody whacked their hand and split the skin, and it healed on its own with very minimal medical attention.
Sure.
And they're holding something. So they're either holding the handle of a hammer or the knife, or they're holding something in their hand, but the only thing that I can see is the hand, and I can't see what the object is.
Right. Hey, Farm Boy, welcome.
All right, let me get over to your live stream and hit that link again.
I finally put together who Boomer is. He's the one that had the vision of my sister Michelle.
No.
That wasn't him?
No, that was Z.
Oh, Citizen Z?
Yeah.
I thought it was Boomer.
No.
It was still messed up.
Boomer you talked to on a live stream before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I never talked to Citizen Z, I don't think.
No.
Well, yeah, obviously it was deadly.
All right, I'm in the YouTube live stream.
Okay.
Is the link still in here?
Let me what, to the pictures?
Oh yeah, send me the link to that as well, and the
Well, you're still up on panel.
panel link, and I'll jump off the phone and get on.
Okay.
Oh,
Okay.
can go to his computer.
Let me go ahead and get that.
Yeah, in case I get another call or something.
Right. Okay, there's the link to the panel.
To the panel?
To the panel.
That's not what you said.
Oh. Yeah.
We can't stay on too late. I got to call and order your tacos before it gets too late.
That's right.
Taco Tuesday.
Welcome back.
Oh, I gotta unmute my TV, don't I? Before it gets too late. There we go. Taco Tuesday. Oh, I gotta unmute my TV, don't I? Before it
Is
gets
there a link to a piano?
screwed up. There we go. Mute the unmute the TV.
Yes, Tamara. Here we have Taco Tuesday. You get 2 of them for $8, but they are the size of burritos. Taco.
So those are that's the pictures.
All right. Which is the pictures?
Up on the screen, you should see the pictures.
Oh, you're doing a screen share. Okay. I had to open up the video.
I can put the. I mean, all I did was a search for Keddie Cabin Murders on Google. That's where the pictures popped up.
Can you put the link to that in the our private chat?
Yeah.
Oh wait, are they clickable links in here though? I don't know if they're clickable links.
I don't know. I can try and we'll see. No, not comments. Private chat. Let's see.
Or in the YouTube chat. Either way. Yeah, it's not a clickable link.
Yeah.
Little bitch.
Let me see.
I don't know why they do that. That's another reason why I don't like StreamYard.
Oh, I can't do it in YouTube. It's too long.
Can you send it to me in Twitter or Messenger?
Yeah, I can do that.
Because if I'm looking at the pictures of the actual
Cabin?
scene, I'll get a better, stronger connection.
Gotcha. Let me go ahead and find you.
You send it in Twitter or
I'm going to Twitter. Yeah, I don't have you on.
my Twitter.
I don't think you're Facebook friends with me. All right, let's see. Let's try this. Okay, you should have got it. Am I sharing my screen?
It always takes forever. There we go. Just popped up. All right. This is the view I had. But for some reason I saw, why did it go there? That's not what I clicked on. Wait, I click on the picture and it gives me the floor plans. I don't want, oh wait, maybe there's a reason for that.
Yeah.
That's the floor plan. Yeah, okay, oh, I see why it is. It's a, what do you call that? Where they show pictures in a row. Slideshow. It's a slideshow.
Oh, okay.
I don't want slideshow. I want. Isn't there just a regular?
There should be. You would think.
View I had did not have stairs. The view I had made it seem as though it was a one-level cabin. There was no this is, wait, is that wooden shingles? No, that's logs, right? Where's that wooden shingles? Let me look at that.
That's a good question.
Wait, that didn't take me to the picture.
Yeah, it looks like wooden shingles.
Okay, but for some reason I saw them as like a OD green.
Well, that one picture I saw on there, it looked like that very first picture looked like it was a tinted green from like moss. Do you know what I mean?
Right. This is it. Hang on. Can I open that in big? No. Still not.
I hate Google pictures now. Or images.
I want to be able to open it. Hang on. I'll just save image. How about that? Save image as. There it is. Save image as, and I can open it up. Let's put pictures. I'll put it in my screenshots, I think. Whatever. Now let's see if I can open it up in my images. So I can show you which one I'm talking about. Alright.
Thank you for subscribing, Tomboy.
Why didn't it pop up with the music?
I don't know. That I don't know. But it popped up in chat. That's how I saw it.
Where'd that pop?
Right above where you say, oh, okay, Sid.
Oh, I see it.
Oh, I gotta change the settings.
So you have a feeling though that it's the suspects that they thought, the Marty and Bo.
I had to do something with the older brother, or the oldest younger brother. I think
The one that was killed?
12-year-old. No, one of the younger brothers.
I don't know. The way they talked about them, they were like babies. Not babies, but like under 11.
Oh, the information I got was there was an 11-year-old brother, a 12-year-old friend, and a 12-year-old brother. That's what I was getting.
Farm Boy is asking, how do you go on DLive and YouTube at the same time?
I go through Restream.io. That's how I do it.
I mean, I'm not going to answer them kind of questions because I'd end up burning his computer up.
No, that is logs. It's not.
Oh, is it logs?
Yeah, it's logs. It's not wood shingle. Maybe I don't know. But the front of this, can I share this?
Yeah, go for it.
I need my glasses now.
I'm just making you work today, ain't I?
Oh, my camera got turned down. That's why I was like, what the hell? Holy shit, my glasses ain't doing me no good either.
I thought I was looking at his back.
Share screen. There we go.
I don't think you need help, Tamara. Foreign Boy's asking, is there a link to that?
I can just put it in chat.
All right. So this is the view I got. This is the view of the cabin I had.
Oh, it didn't link. Hold on one second.
It looks like a front entrance of it it makes it seem as though it's just a one. Is that a separate? Are there separate structures there aside from the main living structure? Because that's what this looks like, and that's what it looks like what I saw. Except when I saw it, it looked like it had green shingles on it.
I'm not sure. Freaky actually brought that up.
This is like a separate structure from the main living structure.
Yeah, he said it looked like it might have been a storage shed.
I don't
It
know.
looks like a bunkhouse.
I mean, it does look almost small to be living in.
Are you sharing it, Boomer?
There's more than one structure on the property, I'll bet you. I bet you the two-level property was the main, or the two-level structure was the main structure on the property, and then I'll bet you there's other cabins. This has got to be an extra cabin on the property.
I don't know. I mean, there was cabins because they said that there was next door neighbors and that. So,
okay.
But all I'm seeing is that.
But that looks like
Are you sharing it, Boomer?
Like it, minus the green wooden shingles.
Are you sharing your screen? Because it's not showing up that you are.
Oh, it's not showing that I'm sharing?
No.
It shows on it's sharing to the StreamYard.
I don't see it on my part. I can't because nothing came up.
I see it. I don't know. Oh, wait. Okay, hang on. There's a second choice. Let's see.
I don't believe Ron won that either.
All right, application window. That's why I forgot to start that.
Oh, okay. There we go. Now I see it.
You see it. That's what I saw. Minus the green shingles.
Okay.
It's just a one-level structure. And it looked just like this with a little entranceway, but there was green shingles. It wasn't a log cabin. It was.
There is a picture of that there.
Welcome back, Freaky. It looks like a log cabin.
And the image I had, the person holding the hammer, it seemed to me like it was not an adult swinging the hammer. It was a child. You know, I don't know, but it didn't look like the hand of an adult.
Hold on one second.
The scar in that image, the hand was just making the motion of hitting somebody. And then it wasn't until later that when I was upstairs that the image of the hand, just the back of the hand came to me, and there's a scar on the back of the hand, and that doesn't look like a full-grown adult stand either.
Okay, so this is what I brought up earlier. If it's a child, teenager that he is seeing the hand up, how hard would he have to have swing
to kill them
on one blow, so they wouldn't be able to yell in pain, and the kids never woke up in the next room?
If they were struck in the temple, less than 2 pounds of pressure on the temple could kill somebody. So if he swung and hit them in the side of the head, in the temple, they would have died instantly.
You're talking about dead accuracy.
And the back of the head would have rendered them unconscious anyway, or it would have immobilized them, and then a couple more swings probably could have killed them.
It's interesting you say that about that.
You know, it's the vision of the vision of the outside of the structure, then it immediately goes to the inside of the structure with somebody walking up to someone sleeping and bringing a hammer down on their head. A lot of these
child's head
suggestive, you know, they're hardly ever literal. They're usually suggestive, you know, cryptic indications. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So this could very well be the information saying that, all right, this is how they were killed, not necessarily by who or, you know, but somebody was definitely killed because of a blow from a hammer.
Okay, the interesting part that you say that, Boomer, because I was looking as I was searching to see these how the house was structured and everything. The outside, the brown that you see, the wooden cabin that you see, is their back door. The front of it is that yellow part. You know what I mean? The second part of that is early on, I found this out too. Justin Eason was one of the kids that were in the back bedroom with the two brothers.
Mm-hmm.
He said early on, investigators believed that Justin Eason either knew more than he was telling police, or he had blocked out the most of his memories due to the trauma of seeing the attack. They also suspected that Justin touched at least one of the bodies, since blood was found on the inside doorknob of the bedroom where the boys were staying.
And that was the brother, right?
No, Justin was the kid, one of the friends that
brother's friend.
Yeah, that Marty, the father, and Marty and his roommate there. Marty was his father.
Okay. Well,
they were saying
with the three boys, because that's the information I was getting. The three boys either were involved or have information or were threatened to be quiet or whatever. I think they were involved in helping moving the one girl's body. And I think the anonymous caller was one of the boys. You said it wasn't until what, 3 months later or something like that?
It was on the third
3
anniversary.
years.
Oh,
3 years.
Years later.
Yeah.
So say, Gil got to him, he knew what happened. Maybe he was involved in trying to cover it up. 11, 12-year-old kid being involved in something like that.
It's going to be traumatic.
Long freaking time from the finally, for his guilt to get to him, and 3 years, 3 years, 14, 15, he's thinking, you know what, I can't keep it a secret no more. So he makes an anonymous call to the police and says, well, this is where so-and-so's.
Trying to ease his conscience.
Yeah.
Yeah, his conscience caught up with him, yeah.
But see, what I don't get, though, is I don't think that girl was killed in that cabin.
She wasn't.
But why only drag one person away?
Remember, I said something about one of the girls being dragged out, and she was still alive. Whether she was unconscious or not, she was still alive being dragged out.
So do you think it was a sexual assault and then she was killed?
I don't want to make assumptions, but I mean, evidence, seems to point in that direction.
I mean, I'm not asking for assumption. I'm just asking for your opinion.
Yeah. It seems to point in that direction. I think the main target was the girl. I think what happened was they tried to sneak up on the girl. I think they planned on
And got caught.
the girl from the get-go.
And got caught in the middle of it and then just killed the others.
Well, maybe they woke somebody up, and the only thing they could do is, is to whack him in the head and then take the girl elsewhere to finish her business. That's the kind of feeling I got. Like it's
Right.
And it makes sense. I mean, it makes complete sense.
Yeah. I think something happened, and it alerted the other people in the room, and I think they just kind of freaked out and started whacking people.
They panicked.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
I think the three younger boys may have been involved with it, or they were help covering it up.
The way you're going with this,
to kill the older brother and kill the mother.
the way you're going with it, I think the three kids
out of the picture, you know what I'm saying? Like, they would be the two that would be able to stop them. So I think the reason the big brother, the older brother, and the mother were killed so that their plans could be carried through.
Right.
I don't think there was any intentions on killing the girl at first. I think they snuck in thinking they were going to get their way with the girl, and something alerted them, and then, we got to get rid of them because we don't want to get caught,
Right, yeah.
So now you got two dead bodies in the room. You're not going to do the deed there. You're going to take the girl somewhere else. Do whatever you're going to do, and then hide the body somewhere else.
I thought there was 3 dead bodies in the cabin, and then the girl was found
On the
outside.
Yeah.
the mom, the 2 boys, and then the girl was found elsewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Boomer, for your insight.
So vague.
What's that?
The report is so vague. There's so many details left out.
Yeah, and that's what I know. The one father of the boy that was killed there, it's like there was a cover up. He feels like they just fumbled it all up, and I'm glad these other sheriffs are coming to,
We're gonna
stand
reopen
up
the
and
case.
say, "Hey, let's see what the hell's really going on."
Right, because like you said, there is no statutes limitation to murder.
No.
Right.
In the U.S., the whole
Right.
U.S., there's not a state that has a statutes to murder.
No. Even you could be 96 years old and get a knock on your door. You're going to prison for murder that you did 60 years ago.
Yep.
Yep.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Boomer, for your insight. Yeah, it's really cool that I'm glad you made my show.
Definitely. That was
I guess
very
there's
insightful.
why I did, because I wasn't thinking of going on, and I got, I was like, well, let's check out D-Live real quick, and you were there, and I'm like, okay, what are they doing? And that's the one I clicked on.
Yeah, it must have been for a reason.
These. And as soon as I started listening to the first story, I started getting barraged with information,
Wild.
images, visions, and there was somebody talking to me. I believe it was Helen talking to me. I can't concur that.
Right.
100%. I got the feeling one of those victims' names was Helen, and I think Helen was the one feeding me the information. I got the feeling that Helen is the mom and was the first victim. Because she's the one that was saying the mother was a streetwalker and the suspect was the product of a pregnancy from a John, and she ended up keeping the baby, and his whole life she was abusing him. By the time he was a preteen or early age teenager is when he first started getting into the anti-socialism and stuff like that.
Right.
I think the time he was 15 is when, because there's no mention of mom. So my feeling on it is by the time he was between 15 or 17, he decided he had enough of it and said, goodbye, mama. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah.
He probably buried her in a basement somewhere or something, and then went off on his killing sprees.
Right.
And they didn't end until he was incarcerated. And that's the information I was getting. Incarceration, died in prison are the two that that's the best I can make out of what they were trying to say. Because you know how when you receive stuff from spirits, it's kind of fair.
Yeah.
But I got the word incarceration and died in prison.
Right.
And I got they said spring of 38. And that's why I asked about if they ended it along that time.
Right. Yeah, this was
I was trying to relate.
September 38, I only assumed that September 38th is when he died or incarcerated. He either died or was incarcerated in September of 38.
38.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was trying to relay the information that I could read that you were posting.
Right,
as
yeah.
quick as I could do shadows.
Yeah, that's why that's another reason why I figured I'd ask if I could come up, because it's easier.
Yeah.
I felt sorry for Eddie having to sit there and just relay everything.
Right. I get that. Yeah, it is easier. That's why I like it when people come up, because it is easier to talk about it and it's easier to get the words you're meaning out. And typing is so,
No. See, Shadow set it up this way just to see how bad I can fail.
Whatever.
She set me up for failure, huh?
Yeah.
That's exactly what it is.
Whatever. But yeah, no, I'm glad you came up. I'm glad you caught my show, and it's definitely a cool insight. You know what I mean?
I mean, that's the issue I deal with. Whenever
I know, and I know
stories, and that's why I stopped doing missing person cases.
Yeah, exactly. That's why.
Back in 2014 or 2015, 2014, I think it was.
Yeah.
When I was doing private sessions with people, friends on Facebook.
Right.
A couple of missing person cases came up on my Facebook. I don't follow it anymore because of this. And there was 2 different cases. One I was wrong on that had a good outcome. One I was right on that had a bad outcome, but I didn't pursue that because of the first case being wrong. I contacted the family with the information I was getting, and apparently I ended up, causing unnecessary worry for that family, because a month after that, the person ended up showing up back at home safe. And then right after that, I kind of latched on to another case about an ex-Marine from Texas that came up missing. I started getting all kinds of information about that one, but I didn't bother to contact anybody because I doubted myself. I didn't know if I was wrong on this one the way I was on the other one. And it turned out that one I was right on, but I didn't say anything to anybody. And it was I think it was a couple of weeks after the story was released that he was discovered in an area that I knew he was at, based on the information I was receiving.
But I can understand. I mean, after getting something, you do doubt yourself. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And
you can't help it.
Right.
And the worst part, I think, would be is if you say you have your information, you have your vision,
right?
But when they go there or investigate that area, there's nothing there. It comes up wrong.
Right.
That just means to me that there's something in that vision or that message that you are not seeing, but it is supposed to be that area.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. And a lot of most people don't understand is, when you're receiving information from spirits, just like humans, make mistakes.
Absolutely.
They lie. They make mistakes. They they think they're right on something, but it turns out they're wrong. Just like any human, there's human error. And the spirits make those same human errors that we make, and when they're relaying information. Like I can tell you what I think about a certain case. It could be dead on right with my information, or I could be wrong. So can they,
Right, right. Definitely.
Welcome to the show, Mert.
Hi, Mert. Welcome. All right. I think I'm going to stop it there. Got to get those, Taco Tuesday. But Boomer, I can't thank you enough. I mean, definitely very cool. I'm sorry because I know how I of course come to your shows. If I don't talk, I'm at least lurking, and it's like one of those things where I know stuff like this can get to you, and it's like, oh hell, you know what I mean?
And I want everybody to know that right now, I have shadows trying to get me to where I have my own channel at the same time. This way I can subscribe to you guys and come to your shows when I know you're live.
Yeah.
I would love for you to have your own channel and come check me out.
I'm not going to be doing my own channel like Shadows does. I'm a long way from doing anything like that.
But he wants to support all you guys, definitely.
Yeah, I mean, you can come up with something, It doesn't. But
he will in time. Once he gets used to it,
I mean, I always had. I never did it because I don't have the same experiences as most combat veterans have.
That's exactly what I'm talking about.
a good segment would be to have a panel of veterans from different branches and stuff up there, like talking about their experiences and stuff.
Right, yeah.
I'm sorry, Boomer. I wasn't laughing at you. I'm laughing at Freaky.
Yeah.
But yeah, I get what you're saying, definitely.
But you can't twerk on D-Live.
I can in my chair.
They made that point. It's against D-Live regulations or some shit. I don't know.
But I am
yeah.
so far off of being able to do this on my own that just before we go live with Shouter Show, she's got to come to my computer and pull everything up.
Oh, yeah. It's the computer language barrier.
Oh, God, yeah. And I tell everybody, I do not turn my computer off because I won't remember how to turn it back on.
Right.
That is true.
Yeah, I appreciate you letting me come up here and explain that. If anything else, if I get anything else on any of those, I'll let you know. Like I'll send you a DM or something.
Yeah, definitely.
Whatever. But yeah, I get this every time, and it's not all of them. It's just, because I don't know why it was just those two cases that all of a sudden they wanted to start talking about it.
Right, yeah. But I mean, yeah, I can understand that. So if you don't want to get them though, Tuesdays is my true crime days. So just keeping that in mind.
All right. All right.
Because I know how sometimes it gets to you,
Yeah. I mean, I don't mind checking them out once in a while. The thing is, I never know, from one case to the other, what ones they're going to start yakking at me about.
Right.
So, I play roulette. I play the roulette thing with it. I was like, because it is very interesting, and I like to listen to people talk about them. So I take that chance whether or not I'm going to be barraged with information on them or not. So.
Right. But I appreciate you sharing that with us, definitely.
Yeah, and anything, if you guys discover anything that comes of it, let me know. If you find out any more articles on any of those cases that may have mentioned anything that I mentioned, let me know.
Definitely.
All right. I appreciate you having me up here, and I hope, whatever information I got was correct, and hope it helps solve some of these cases.
Hey, you never know. I mean, that's awesome, But yeah, thank you for coming up and sharing that with us.
Yeah, greatly appreciate it.
Good talking to you again, Eddie.
It was great talking to you again, Boomer.
I'm going to jump off here and let you finish up your show.
All right. You have a great rest of the day.
You too. Much love. Keep it real, yo.
Definitely. Thank you, Boomer.
Stay strong.
You too.
That was pretty insightful.
That I know is so cool. I always love it when Boomer comes up on my channel, no matter what I'm talking about or whatnot.
And he was hitting that cabin right on the money.
I could see, like I said, when he was talking about the green, like when I pulled up that one picture, that first picture, was like, whoa.
It looked like Mustang.
Yeah, but it was that green tint that was like, I could see that.
Yeah.
I thank you again, Boomer, definitely. Thank you all for being here. I'm going to run the credits. You know what that means. Head on over to D-Live, and I haven't bought lemons, so I couldn't put a lot in the chest, but we got some.
No, Freaky.
What happened?
He's asking the green like a golf green. No, it wasn't that dark of a green.
Oh.
It was a lighter color green. It almost looked like, when you have moss on metal, after a while, if you wipe it away, it's got that tinge of green. That's what it looked like.
Yeah. So you know what to do. Head on over there, hype up that chat, and we'll go, as I'm rolling the credits, we'll open that box. All right, guys, I hope you all have a wonderful day. Take care, be safe. I forgot what I'm doing. Hold on one sec, credits.
Yes, Freaky, you did hear Moss. I just want to say, guys, thanks for allowing me to be part of this program now. Everybody stay safe, stay strong, and love to everybody. And I'll talk to you guys tomorrow.
The chest is now open. Hit that link. Hit that chest. Get that booty that's in there. You didn't do it, Tamara? I thank you guys for being here. You guys are so awesome. As always, have a great day. If you're listening, as always, too, if you're listening on the podcast portion of this, please know that I am live 10 a.m. Alaskan time, 2 p.m., Monday through Friday, 5 days a week. All right. And the lemons have been distributed. Ron got 24.0. Sid got 14.2. Tamara got 10.5. Freaky Gay got 8.6. And Sexy Wife Weasley got 7.3. Thank you guys again for being here. I appreciate it as always. Tomorrow is Wednesday, which is What If Wednesdays. We're talking more cryptids.
Oh, here we go.
Thank you so much for the lemons. I appreciate it. Thank you, Tina. Yeah, we're talking cryptids. We're talking about Native American people in Oklahoma tell a vampire-like creature called the Stikini, or the man owl. Then we discuss coyotes, Native American trickster, creator, and sacred animal who can deceive but also give wisdom. Did the Comanche Indians defeat a race of white, red-haired giants? White giants are part of many Native American legends. And last but not least, the Native American Iroquois are terrified of a flying demonic creature that takes pleasure in tormenting their people. Just for kicks. So stay tuned. Come back tomorrow. Hey, Shrimp Shack. And we'll be talking about that and more. Take care, everyone. Much love. Be safe. I love you guys.
Fist bump to all the guys. Hugs to all the women. See you all tomorrow.
Take care, guys. Bye.